So this is from Redux. We know that this guy won the Pulitzer Prize, but this is how they describe it. A male academic who identifies as a transgender woman, so it's a biological guy who's walking around as a woman, trying to be, has been awarded a Pulitzer Prize for literary criticism. And they say it's prompted an outcry on social media as users draw attention to his history of disturbing comments about how pornography influenced his transition. This is a man who was born Andrew Long Chu, who now goes as Andrea Long Chu, a 2014 graduate from Duke, then a doctoral student in comparative literature at NYU. And he was the book critic. This person was the book critic at New York Magazine. And now the writing's been granted this Pulitzer. So this person, if you look at this person's history, they've got a lengthy history, reports Redux, of equating womanhood with pornography addiction. Quoting again, in 2019, Chu's first book, Females, was published by Verso Press. The thesis was that anyone can become female. Not true. And that being penetrated during sex defines womanhood. Okay. Getting effed makes you female because effed is what a female is. Chu, the now Pulitzer Prize winner, writes in the short book, describing himself as once being a sad, pretentious boy, furious about rape, hopelessly addicted to pornography. Chu claims that it was his obsession with pornography that led him to begin identifying as transgender. In 2018, Chu published an essay titled On Liking Women. This, to me, is the most offensive thing I've read of all. Here it is, ladies. The truth is, he writes, I've never been able to differentiate liking women from wanting to be like them. I transitioned, this is his view of us, for gossip, compliments, lipstick, mascara, crying at the movies, being someone's girlfriend, for sex toys, for feeling hot, for getting hit on by butches, for Daisy Dukes, bikini tops, and all the dresses, and my God, for the breasts. How on earth is this person winning any awards from any respectable institution on earth? This is so deeply offensive. And if you had written this stuff, think about if you said, I'm now black, and you put every stereotype about a black person in why you want to be black. Pick the worst things in your mind. I won't say them here. Just the most derisive, offensive ones, and said, this to me is what it is to be black, so I want to be black. You would be run out of town. You would not be getting awards like the Pulitzer Prize. And yet, that's what happened, Sarah. And all the literary world is celebrating this person.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to, our conversation earlier about all of these institutions. You mentioned, how is this person being given an award from such a prestigious institution? I would argue it's not a prestigious institution anymore. And this is just one of the examples of that. All of these institutions have been infiltrated by all of these woke individuals, and they're pushing this ideology. And now we're supposed to normalize sexual deviancy, and we're supposed to not even normalize it, but celebrate it at this point. I mean, it is just so incredibly offensive and misogynistic. And I seem to recall, guys, like 5 minutes ago, when the left pretended like they cared about women and women was the most important thing, women were the most important thing to them, and they wanted to protect women, and the evil Republicans had created a war on women, and the left was going to save the women. Now they're like tossing the women directly out of the boat and replacing them with these men, and I would say subpar men, and also, as you mentioned, Megyn, mentally ill men. I mean, this is not a sane individual. This is an individual who needs help. And our society has decided, instead of helping this person, we're going to enable and embolden these gross deviancies and elevate these people to the very top. I mean, I'll go back to Leah Thomas. A lot of these, or I should say William Thomas, a lot of these people have these disorders. Perhaps this writer has a obvious, I would say, an obvious disorder here. A lot of these people who identify as trans, the men apparently have autogynephilia. And instead of treating the disorder, we are enabling them. And it's just very, very offensive.
We're celebrating it, and we're pushing others to lean in. I mean, that's what's so sick. They say, here, Liz, that according to his CV, Chu presented his views at Columbia, UCLA, UC Berkeley, and Vassar hello, which was always a woman-only institution. At Yale, Chu was invited to read his article on liking women that I just quoted from. And on his website, Chu boasts that the essay, quote, has become essential reading in gender studies classes around the country. So that's what you're going to get the most. I mean, what the disorder appears to be is misogyny, if you ask me. And I don't know why this person felt the need to go so far as to try to pretend to be one of us. But this is deeply, deeply insulting stuff.
Well, I just think it's wild that this person thinks that like I cry at the movies. I cried when the Golden State Warriors won the NBA finals last year because, I have standards. But no, I mean, it's absurd. And I think there's this component that I keep going back to with all of this stuff, whether it's trans issues or whether it's, a lot of the drag show hysteria, which is we're really operating from a place of caricature. And it's surprising to me that people feel so comfortable doing that. I really appreciated the work of second wave feminists. The one area in which I absolutely sort of deviate from them is that I am, consider myself very staunchly pro-life. But second wave feminists had a lot of things right. And you actually read some of the writings from the 1970s. You read Brenda Feigenfesto and Mark Feigenfesto and some of these really, really wonderful writers and thinkers. And the way that they talked about gender roles back then were absolutely revolutionary. But today they seem backwards because it was very much focused on, egalitarian marriages between, husbands and wives and men who know how to take care of the children, just as the women do and these things. And, having some amount of emotional vulnerability between spouses, all things that to me seem like perfectly healthy expectations and things I, desire and thankfully have in my personal life. But a lot of people sort of see that view of gender roles that the second wave feminists promoted as totally backwards now, because for whatever reason, the third wavers, and I guess sort of now we're in this fourth wave, almost have this like over emphasis on stereotype and caricature of women. And sort of have these, what seems to be kind of like flimsy gender essentialist views of what we are. I'm sorry, but I am not just my, ability to wear mascara and lipstick. I am not somebody who likes to go to brunch. I don't cry in the movie theater. I like to be aggressive at work when the situation calls for it. I edit a bunch of people, and sometimes you need to put your foot down in certain ways and make tough calls. And I find it really offensive that people, will sometimes claim they want to become like us and yet act like we are nothing more than these sort of weak and feeble, make-upped creatures who are constantly having our emotions get the better of us. I find that to be really insulting.
Sure, you can go to Brazil or Colombia or Korea and get work done to your face, but why would you do that? You don't have to leave your house to look good. It's the final week of the Genucel Mother's Day sale. Look years younger right before your very eyes. Here's a real review from Genucel.com. Claire writes, I absolutely love Genucel. My skin feels so good, tighter, younger, with a more even tone, and I only used it for a week. My advice for everyone, take a before picture. Nothing works like Genucel because it's a family recipe for over 20 years, made by a compounding pharmacist in small batches. Always safe, cruelty-free, and natural. Right now, go to Genucel.com/MK60 and save over 70% off Genucel's most popular package, all their best stuff, during their Mother's Day sale. Every most popular package features their ultra retinol and dark spot corrector. Don't wait. Go to Genucel.com/MK60, GENUCEL.com/MK60, and get a complimentary Spa Essentials box with every package order for only one more week, plus free upgrade to priority shipping. Genucel.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.